Hey folks, Steve here. Sorry about the camera angle. What I will say is I tried to set it on my ramp door that's down, of course, and the tripod is just a lousy tripod for my phone. And so there's just a lot of, so it's stable on the ground and I'll be able to shoot the video from there appropriately enough for today. I don't need this now as a platform. All right, so what am I doing today? I got a few new tools in, so I'll be as quick as I can for this. But here's what I have. One of those barrel grip jigsaws, 20 volt, DCS 335, B as in Bravo, which I'm assuming always means bare tool. I would like to go to the DeWalt factory and figure out exactly where they come up with all these numbers and codes and know exactly what everything means. Sometimes it's fairly obvious, sometimes it is mystifying to me. All right, so what's in this box? Let's check it out quick. A little bit of cardboard packing, manual in a bag, and I'm assuming the tools. And that literally is it. So there you go, there's the tool. Everything looks ready to go. I mean, it's not a big deal, so let me show you. So there's one side. There's the other side. Bottom. Forward facing. Obviously where the battery goes in. Speed setting. Numbered 7 high, the fastest, down to 1 the slowest. It gives you 3 different blade configurations as far as what you want the blade to do and how it's going to move. Here's your on-off switch. To swap out the blade, it is this lever right here. Forward, blade comes out, put the new blade in, set it back in, and then you are ready to rock and roll. Now this is my second 335. Here is this one. This is the brand new one, and I'm going to leave the flat deck on it for all things jigsaw related that you're going to use a jigsaw for, except for coping inside miters. For that, I will retain my original. This one is already set up with the Collins coping foot, which was a $30 add-on purchase. It was a little bit to install, flat deck off, and to install the Collins coping foot on this. Okay, so this is what I have it looking like, right? So I'll give you a good idea as to how I've installed it, because I can't remember the details of the install. But I know it wasn't perfectly straightforward. There's a little dinking around with it, and I have used this. Cope. Latest was baseboard. I will be using this very soon to cope some crown for my own project in my laundry room. Very happy not only to have one, but two, because frankly, it's a pain in the caboodle to take this Collins coping foot off and put this back on. It's not real straightforward. There actually is, it's a major brand. Jigsaw actually has just a quick release for flat deck, and it's a really easy install for the Collins coping foot. So you can swap them out fairly readily. I have not found this to be easy. So therefore, I was willing to spend the 163 plus tax extra dollars on Amazon to get a second one in just for the flat deck for anything not related to this. I have been actually able to use this with the coping foot on it and do regular jigsaw things, but flat deck. So excess, yeah. Do I really need it? Probably not. How often do I go to a jigsaw for something? But when I do, this is a pain if I'm not going to be coping to actually just use this. And especially if a buddy of mine, you know, like if we're working together on my crew and a buddy grabs this, he hasn't had as much practice as I have with the Collins coping foot, and so all I hear is complaints. Oh, well then get your own, okay? All right, but anyway, now I have this, so even I don't have to complain to myself like, oh man, I really wish I could just take that off and have that flat deck for stability and, you know, maybe a flat, you know, even cut. Hey, so I'm very happy with that. That does pose a problem though. My cubbies are maxed out. I can't say it any easy way. They're maxed out. And so I'm having to be creative as to how I'm doing tools. For instance, I will say right down here, my power plane does not have a home at the moment. It wasn't a cubby, then I needed that cubby for a tool I got in, probably one of the cordless nailers, trim nailers. I am at a loss as to exactly how to maneuver and manipulate my cubbies to maximize now even an additional tool. But I believe within a cubby itself, which can be as little as 2 inches wide and then every 2-inch increment after that, I have been able to, in 2 different cases, create an insert that literally just slides in, made out of completely 1/4-inch plywood, that just slides in, that's exactly the width it needs to be to go inside of a cubby, and it'll have a flat deck. It'll divide the cubby vertically in 2 and allow me to actually then put a tool below and a tool above, so I can actually take advantage of vertical space. Real briefly, okay, so a little bit of a bonus around here. Don't know if I filmed the unboxing of this or not, but I will say that I have been very, very happy. This is a 23 gauge headless pin nailer, and this is the one where, you know, you depress the safety trigger, you pull the trigger, you're getting a nail if you have a battery in this thing. I like it. Certainly any cordless nailer is going to be bigger and heavier than its air equivalent. Almost lost the camera. It's going to be bigger and it's going to be heavier than its air equivalent. But not having to drag a cord out, being able to just grab this and go in without thinking about compressor and hose and all of that, I like it. Even though this trailer is set up to do just that, because I have all the air tools, 150 feet of air line on a reel, compressor plugged in and ready to go. I mean, I'm all set up for air, and I'm moving away from it. I am moving away from air to the point of where the only air I would need is just to blow the tools off. That would be, I guess, ideal. In my Amazon cart right now, I have a 16 gauge nailer ready to go there. With the exception of my roofing gun, I could be completely cordless there, completely air hoseless. I don't do enough roofs to say so. I'm not actually insured to do roofs. Now, if I put an addition on, I can do that roof. That's within my insurance. I'm allowed to do that. But I can't show up at your job, at your house, and you say, hey, I want you to re-roof my house, and I can say, okay, I can do that. My insurance doesn't cover that. And frankly, I don't want to do that. I can do roofs. I've done a bunch of them. I don't want to do roofs anymore. And so it could be a younger man's game. It could be an older man's game. But what I do know is it's somebody else's game. It's not mine. I'll do my own roof. I'm not going to do anybody else's unless, like I said, it's an addition that I'm putting on. Well, hey, thank you very much for sticking with me, folks. I really appreciate getting these videos out there just so you can maybe be able to see a tool, you know, like really up close. Here's the one side. Here's the top. Here's the other side. Here's the business side. Has a safety trigger and a regular trigger. This won't shoot until you pull this in, but when you pull this in, then you depress this trigger and you will get a nail. Like, for instance, a nail just went that way. It'd be interesting how far it went, but there you go. And that's all. And that's all it sounds like. Hope the neighbors aren't home. Ow! Ow! Do. Nothing to see here, folks. I can't, you know, I'm typically putting 4 or 5 or 6 amp hour batteries because that's mostly what I have. But you could run a 2 and lighten this up a little bit. It does come with a belt hook. It does have some lights. You know, I think the lights could be better, you know, maybe placed somewhere else. The magazine itself, right there, that's as much as you get in order to load nails. Nails are typically have an arrow on them for directionality. And I like the tool a lot. I've used it. I probably shot maybe 100 or maybe 100 pins out of it so far. Not very many, but this is not an always go-to tool. Thanks for sticking with me. All right, you all take care. Have a wonderful day.